Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Twisted Beliefs.
It really is something. I can't believe how much coverage it has gotten. What's the basic timeline for this case so far?
Absolutely, Dylan. To start, we go back to last year when Sean Combs was arrested. Initially, he faced serious allegations that shocked his fans and the broader public. The case spiraled into a long, drawn-out process with multiple hearings, investigations, and a lot of media coverage leading up to the trial. The trial itself saw dramatic moments, with both the prosecution and defense presenting strong arguments.
It's fascinating, but also kind of infuriating to see how long it takes for these cases to unfold. What kind of evidence was presented during the trial?
Indeed, it's often a grueling process. During the trial, both sides presented a variety of evidence. The prosecution focused heavily on testimonies from witnesses and crucial surveillance footage, which they argued painted a clear picture of wrongdoing. In contrast, the defense tried to undermine this evidence by questioning the credibility of the witnesses and pointing to inconsistencies in their testimonies.
That sounds like a classic courtroom battle. So what happened during the closing arguments?
Closing arguments are often the most critical moment in a trial, Dylan. The prosecution summarized their case, emphasizing the weight of the evidence and how it undeniably showed Diddy's guilt. They urged the jury to consider the impacts of his actions on the victims and society at large. The defense, however, appealed to the jury's sense of doubt, arguing that the prosecution's case lacked sufficient proof and highlighted the presumption of innocence.
It sounds like the stakes were incredibly high. What was the verdict?
The jury ultimately returned a guilty verdict, which sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. This not only marked a significant moment for Sean Combs, but also raised serious discussions about accountability for celebrities who find themselves in legal troubles.
Wow, I can only imagine the media frenzy following that verdict. What's next for Diddy in terms of sentencing?
With the verdict in, the focus now shifts to sentencing, which is scheduled for this week. Legal experts suggest that the range could vary widely, depending on several factors, including Diddy's prior record, he has none, and the nature of the crime. Judges typically consider the severity of the offense, any mitigating circumstances, and the defendant's character.
That's really interesting. So, is there a typical sentencing range for someone convicted of a similar offense?
Yes, there is. And while it can depend on the specifics, offenders in similar high-profile cases have faced anything from a few years to potentially decades in prison. Sentencing can be quite unpredictable, especially when media pressure can influence public opinion and occasionally even the judge's decisions.
That's a lot to consider. Do you think he'll appeal the verdict?
Many legal analysts believe an appeal is likely. The defense may argue procedural errors or challenge certain evidentiary rulings made during the trial. If they decide to appeal, it could extend this case for months or even years, further complicating Diddy's situation.
It sounds like Diddy is in for a lengthy legal battle. What about public reaction? How have fans and the media responded?
Public reaction has been polarizing, to say the least. Some fans continue to support Diddy, emphasizing his contributions to music and culture. Others are outraged, viewing this conviction as a necessary step toward accountability. The media coverage has reflected this divide, with some outlets calling for harsher penalties, while others rally behind the notion of due process.
It's always interesting how public opinion sways in cases like this. What do you think the broader implications are for celebrity culture and the justice system?
That's a fantastic point. This case has the potential to shake up how celebrities are perceived in relation to the law. If the justice system can hold even the most powerful accountable, it might set a precedent that could change public expectations of celebrity behavior and the consequences that follow.
That would be something to see. Are there any other similar cases we can look at for comparison?
Definitely. Cases involving high-profile individuals like R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein have shown the courts taking a strong stand against celebrity misconduct. Each of these cases shares common themes of power dynamics, but varied outcomes. How they are handled can set new societal benchmarks for what we can expect from the justice system.
It really puts everything in perspective. What's the next step in our exploration of Diddy's case?
Next, we'll break down the potential recommendations for sentencing and what they could mean not only for Sean Combs, but also for how the legal system approaches celebrity cases in the future. It's crucial to understand what comes next for both Diddy and the broader implications of accountability.
I can't wait to hear about that. This is so insightful, and there's so much more to unpack.
Exactly. Stay tuned, everyone, as we continue to peel back the layers of this crucial case, exploring not only the facts, but also the angles that often get lost in sensational headlines. Welcome back to Twisted Beliefs.
It really raises questions about celebrity influence, doesn't it?
Do you think he'll receive a light sentence because of his fame?
That's a key concern, Dylan. History shows that celebrities occasionally receive leniency in sentencing due to their status. However, the severity of the charges against Combs, which includes serious offenses that many consider unforgivable, might push the judge to reflect the public's demand for accountability. The sentencing phase allows the judge to consider the nature of the crime, prior criminal history, and the impact on victims. The prosecution is aiming for substantial penalties to send a clear message.
What do the prosecutors think his sentence might look like? Are we talking years or something more severe?
Prosecutors are suggesting a sentence in the range of 10 to 15 years due to the severity of the crimes, which included assault and other related offenses. They argue that such a punishment would serve the dual purpose of justice and deterrence. On the other hand, Combs' defense team is likely to push for a significantly lighter sentence, maybe even probation, emphasizing his contributions to the music industry and his lack of prior criminal history. This creates a fascinating dynamic in the courtroom.
And what about the public reaction? Has there been any backlash or strong opinions from fans?
Absolutely. The public reaction ranges dramatically. Some fans have remained fiercely loyal, insisting that the allegations are exaggerated or politically motivated, while others express outrage over the situation. Social media platforms are buzzing with both support and criticism. Several advocacy groups are calling for harsher sentences for celebrities like Combs, arguing that it's essential to level the playing field in the criminal justice system. A high-profile case like this draws in many voices on both sides.
It's fascinating how public perception can influence legal matters. How do judges balance public opinion with legal guidelines?
Totally. Do you think there's a chance for an appeal if the sentence turns out to be severe?
Definitely. An appeal could be one of the first steps if Combs receives a harsh sentencing. His defense has noted potential grounds for appeal, such as possible missteps in jury selection or other procedural errors. Appeals can take years, though, and are often complicated, especially in high-profile cases. If the defense believes they have a solid legal basis, we could see this case lingering in the courts long after the initial conviction.
That's wild. What do you think is the real takeaway for the entertainment industry from all this?
A major takeaway might be a heightened awareness of accountability. The entertainment industry has been under scrutiny for the way it handles allegations against powerful figures. This case may serve as a wake-up call for artists, executives, and other stakeholders. There's a new dialogue surrounding the behavior of public figures and the standards to which they are held. As fans become more vocal about their expectations, their influence over accountability will likely grow in the coming years.
Absolutely. I think it's crucial. As we look at this case, it really underscores the importance of the justice system, doesn't it?
It truly does, Dylan. The Sean Combs case illustrates the complexities of balancing fame, fandom, and justice. Each aspect brings a different layer of challenges, ensuring that this discussion continues to evolve. As we watch the sentencing unfold, it's vital that we remain aware of the broader implications for both the justice system and society at large. We're not just talking about one man's fate, we're dissecting lessons for our culture moving forward.
Right. It becomes a commentary on societal values as much as it is about a single legal case. What's next for us in covering this saga?
Next, we'll analyze the potential outcomes of the sentencing, how similar cases have been handled in the past, and what that might mean for any future legal battles Combs may face. Moreover, we will invite some legal experts to weigh in on the possible repercussions the conviction may have on his career and others in the industry. These next steps are crucial for a comprehensive understanding.
I look forward to that. It's vital to connect the dots for our audience. Any final thoughts for today's discussion?
Just a reminder that cases like this remind us how justice isn't just a matter of legality, but also a reflection of society's moral values. The twists and turns of this saga showcase that the conversations we're having today are not just about consequences, but about broader change. I hope our listeners take that to heart. Tune in next time as we unravel more layers of this story. Welcome back to Twisted Beliefs.
It really raises questions about celebrity influence, doesn't it?
Do you think he'll receive a light sentence because of his fame?
That's a key concern, Dylan. History shows that celebrities occasionally receive leniency in sentencing due to their status. However, the severity of the charges against Combs, which includes serious offenses that many consider unforgivable, might push the judge to reflect the public's demand for accountability. The sentencing phase allows the judge to consider the nature of the crime, prior criminal history, and the impact on victims. The prosecution is aiming for substantial penalties to send a clear message.
What do the prosecutors think his sentence might look like? Are we talking years or something more severe?
Prosecutors are suggesting a sentence in the range of 10 to 15 years due to the severity of the crimes, which included assault and other related offenses. They argue that such a punishment would serve the dual purpose of justice and deterrence. On the other hand, Combs' defense team is likely to push for a significantly lighter sentence, maybe even probation, emphasizing his contributions to the music industry and his lack of prior criminal history.
Welcome back to Twisted Beliefs.
It's definitely a case that has generated a lot of buzz. What exactly are the key factors that the judge will consider when determining Diddy's sentence?
Great question, Dylan. The judge will primarily consider the severity of his crimes, any prior convictions, and the circumstances surrounding the offense. Sentencing guidelines will also play a crucial role. They provide a framework based on similar cases, which help ensure that the punishment fits the crime. Public safety and the principle of deterrence are other important elements.
That makes sense. So what are the potential penalties he could be facing?
Considering the nature of the crimes for which he was convicted, Sean could be facing several years in prison. Legal experts have suggested that, based on the guidelines, the sentence could range from a lengthy probation to potentially decades behind bars. The high-profile nature of the case might also influence the final verdict, as there's considerable pressure on the judge.
The media scrutiny must be intense. How might that affect the judge's decision?
You're right, Dylan. The media frenzy can add a layer of complexity to the proceedings. Judges are trained to be impartial, but they're also human and susceptible to public opinion. A high-profile case like this could lead to heightened caution in delivering a sentence, especially given the social implications of a celebrity facing justice.
Have the prosecutors and defense presented strong arguments during the trial?
Absolutely. The prosecution argued vigorously for a substantial sentence, emphasizing the need for accountability, especially for celebrities who wield significant influence. Conversely, the defense has highlighted his contributions to culture and charity work, attempting to paint him as a fundamentally good person who deserves leniency.
It's interesting how the perception of a person's character can shift in such high-stakes situations. What kind of public feedback have we seen since the verdict?
There's been a mixed response. Many fans remain supportive, believing in his redemption and highlighting his charitable contributions. Conversely, critics argue that celebrities often receive leniency, which undermines the justice system. Social media is rife with debates, comparing Diddy's case to less famous individuals facing similar charges but receiving harsher sentences.
It really brings up questions of equality in the justice system. What steps could Diddy take following his sentencing?
Following sentencing, if he receives a significant prison term, Diddy could pursue appeals to challenge the conviction or the sentence itself. This is common in high-profile cases, especially when there are strong legal grounds such as procedural errors during the trial. His legal team may also file for any potential sentence reductions based on factors like good behavior or rehabilitation.
That sounds like a lengthy process. What impacts could this trial have on other celebrities facing charges?
This trial could set a precedent on how celebrity cases are treated in the courtroom. The outcomes and public discussions may pressure lawmakers to reevaluate sentencing guidelines or reform aspects of the justice system related to high-profile defendants. It could lead to stricter accountability measures, not just for celebrities, but across the board.
It seems like a carefully balanced perspective. What about the potential for probation or alternative sentencing options?
Probation is certainly a possibility, especially if Diddy's defense can argue effectively that he is unlikely to repeat his offenses. Alternatives, such as community service or mandated counseling, could be offered as part of a plea for leniency. However, it heavily relies on the judge's evaluation of Diddy's prior behavior, public safety concerns, and if he expresses genuine remorse.
It sounds like a complex negotiation at play. With the upcoming sentencing, how should the public prepare to process the ruling?
The public should brace for a wide range of reactions. Many will call for equal justice, while some will advocate for leniency, citing Diddy's impact on culture. It's critical to engage in informed discussions, to recognize the nuances surrounding celebrity cases, and to ponder, too, how this ruling could ripple through the legal landscape. Understanding the implications will help demystify what many view as a volatile justice system.
Very insightful, Harper. As we come close to the end of our segment, any final thoughts on Diddy's case?
This case will undoubtedly leave an indelible mark, not just on Diddy, but on the ongoing dialogue regarding accountability in celebrity culture. As we await the sentence, it's essential for us to remain focused on the larger implications of justice and how system biases can affect outcomes. Each case, especially one as high profile as this, contributes to the framework of what we expect from our justice system and its leaders. Welcome back to Twisted Beliefs, everyone. Today, we are delving into the sentencing of Sean "Diddy" Combs. After a year of legal turmoil, he has been convicted, and now the court must decide his fate. We'll unpack the key moments from the trial, including the critical evidence presented, which led to his conviction, and how both the prosecution and defense framed their arguments in this high-profile case.
It's hard to believe it's all come down to this. What were some pivotal moments during the trial that stood out?
Absolutely, Dylan. One pivotal moment was when the prosecution revealed text messages that contradicted Diddy's alibi, painting a clearer picture of the timeline. Additionally, key witnesses came forward, providing crucial testimonies that swayed the jury. These elements played a vital role in establishing the case against him.
Those testimonies must have been intense. Did the defense have any significant counterarguments?
Yes, they did. The defense argued that the evidence was circumstantial and questioned the credibility of some witnesses. They also tried to highlight Diddy's philanthropic efforts and public persona, claiming that he was not capable of such heinous acts. However, the jury ultimately found these arguments unconvincing.
So what's the sentencing looking like? Are there specific ranges they're considering?
The sentencing guidelines suggest a wide range of penalties, depending on several factors, such as prior criminal history and the severity of the crime. He could face anywhere from several years to potentially decades in prison. It largely depends on how the judge weighs the circumstances of his conviction.
That sounds daunting. Is there any indication of how Diddy and his legal team are preparing for sentencing proceedings?
Yes, they're actively preparing for some form of appeal, which is quite common in high-profile cases like this. His team is likely gathering ground to argue for a lighter sentence based on mitigating factors, such as his public service and community involvement. They're also analyzing procedural issues from the trial that may give them a basis for appeal.
Interesting. So there might still be twists and turns ahead? What about public reactions to all of this?
Public reaction has been divided. Some fans express empathy, arguing that Diddy deserves a second chance, while others feel that celebrities should face the same consequences as anyone else. This case has sparked a broader conversation about celebrity accountability and the justice system. Social media platforms are buzzing with opinions, some supportive, others fiercely critical.
The way social media amplifies public opinion is fascinating and sometimes troubling. How do you think this case will affect future celebrity trials?
I think it sets a precedent, highlighting how scrutiny and public expectations can impact outcomes in celebrity cases. With the media spotlight so intense, future trials may see stricter evaluations and more thorough vetting of evidence, as both the prosecution and defense strive to navigate public opinion while ensuring a fair legal process.
Definitely a double-edged sword. What about the implications for the justice system itself? Do we see any changes coming?
I suspect we will see discussions around reforming how cases involving public figures are handled. This could include measures for more transparent processes and balancing public interest with judicial impartiality. Furthermore, this case may prompt legislators to examine existing laws regarding celebrity behavior and accountability.
That would be a huge shift. Speaking of shifts, could you walk us through how the judge determines sentencing in cases like this?
Certainly. A judge considers numerous factors, such as the severity of the crime, the defendant's criminal history, and any mitigating circumstances. They also take into account victim impact statements and the defendant's behavior during the trial. Ultimately, the goal is to ensure that the sentence reflects justice, not only for the victim, but also serves as a deterrent for future offenses.
That sounds daunting. Is it much more than just the crime itself? That does complicate things significantly.
Precisely. They often evaluate the offender's character, including their contributions to society. In Diddy's case, his public image might play a role in how the judge perceives his actions and potential for rehabilitation.
Cultural perceptions can be a huge influencer. Hopefully, this will lead to fair assessments moving forward. Are there any specific outcomes expected as part of the sentencing hearing?
Yes, the sentencing hearing will likely include victim impact statements, where individuals affected by Diddy's actions can share how this has impacted their lives. This is a vital part of the process and might sway the judge's decision. Additionally, we could see recommendations from probation officers regarding the appropriate sentence.
That's powerful. It's important for the judge to hear those voices. Do you think we'll get a clear direction on where Diddy's case stands after this?
We should, yes. The judge will typically announce the sentence at the conclusion of the hearing. However, given the complexity of this case, it's possible that further legal maneuvers might occur, including appeals that could prolong the final resolution.
So we might not have closure for a while yet. What about the media coverage? Is it expected to continue beyond sentencing?
Absolutely. The media will likely follow up vigorously, especially if there are any developments regarding appeals or public statements from Diddy following his sentencing. This case has already captured public interest and is likely to remain a topic of discussion for some time.
Seems like this saga is far from over. Is there anything you think listeners should take away from this case overall?
It's essential to recognize that every individual, regardless of their fame, is subject to the law. This case touches on themes of accountability, justice, and public perception in the celebrity culture. It highlights the importance of keeping the legal system transparent and fair, ensuring that justice truly is served, no matter who you are.
Well said. It's a reminder of the complexities within our justice system. Thanks, Harper, for your insights today. Let's keep an eye on the developments around Diddy's case in the upcoming weeks.
Thank you, Dylan. Stay tuned, everyone, for more updates. Until next time, take care and stay curious.